Standing down, did it messenger? Standing down, messenger. Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that. Them say messenger. Why you getting on like you is a leader? Hey. Them say messenger. Why it is you getting on so like if you is royalty? Hey. But if you understand the God I serve and the things He brought me from, when I'm weak He made me strong and turn my life all around. Place my feet on solid ground and give to me another song. You wouldn't stand up there and criticize me. I'm a child of the King. Don't tell me I can't lift me hands up. I can't lift me voice up. I can't lift me hands up. So I'm a child of the King. Don't tell me I can't lift me hands up. I can't lift me voice up. I can't lift me hands up. So you see I have love everlasting, peace everlasting, I have joy everlasting, Lord your mercy is everlasting, I have grace ever, I smile on my face. So don't stand up there and criticize me. I'm a child of the King. Don't tell me I can't lift me hands up. I can't lift me voice up. I can't lift me hands up. So I'm a child of the King. Don't tell me I can't lift me hands up. I can't lift me voice up. I can't lift me hands up. So I was sick all kind of thing, nearly dead all kind of thing. People say all kind of thing. That's how I wouldn't turn out to nothing. Now they find that I too loud. Want me blending with the crowd. Why this man don't sit down and shut up? But if you understand the reason why I hailing the Adonai, on the cross for me He died. King Jesus is the most high. He ascended to the sky to prepare a place for you and I. So don't stand up there and criticize me. I'm a child of the King. Don't tell me I can't lift me hands up. I can't lift me voice up. I can't lift me hands up. So I'm a child of the King. Don't tell me I can't lift me hands up. I can't lift me voice up. I can't lift me hands up. So you see I have love everlasting, peace everlasting, I have joy everlasting, Lord your mercy is everlasting, I have grace, I smile on my face, God. So don't stand up there and criticize me. I'm a child of the King. Don't tell me I can't lift me hands up. I can't lift me voice up. I can't lift me hands up. So I'm a child of the King. Don't tell me I can't lift me hands up. I can't lift me voice up.
Get ready, my brothers, as we invite our sister, Dr. Cheryl Holmes, back to the sacred space of the Man Cave. Tune in as real men go against the grain and share secrets in Mancave Conversations Season 3. Join us as Dr. Holmes gains access to the inner workings of the alpha male through real and honest dialogue that will blow your mind. Don't miss it.
Well, hello. This is season 3 of the Man Cave Conversation. I see you guys already coming in. Tonight is going to be off the chain. Every topic that we are going to discuss for the entire month, these men of God, they're going to share with us. This is for the adults only, those people who are super sensitive. We ask you to take a back seat, maybe go watch a movie or something. I want to tell you that every man on this panel is saved, sanctified, Holy Ghost filled, fire baptized, tongue talking, demon running, all of that. But we have to live life. And we're talking about we're talking about relationship from a male's standpoint. So ladies, some of it, I may have to scream, pull my hair out a little bit, but we want it to be real. since we have not been here for over a year, there's so many things that has happened. People have gotten married, people have gotten divorced. Life is tough, and we're going through a pandemic, which means that people have to spend time with each other, and that has proven to have a lot of ups and downs. So tonight, I want you to share as you're coming in. I see a lot of you already here. Do me a favor. Now, the reason why we have this in September is because it's my birth month. Tomorrow is my birthday. So if you love me, and I know you better do, I want you to share to your enemies, your friends, everybody. At least if everyone, there's about 20 people, will be good. We want to be able to give this information to everyone. We know everyone is talking about relationship. We kind of sort of have like the inside track because we have some of these men who have their own programs. And we're going to tell you about some of them. Are you guys ready? All right. Give me some comments. Let me know that you're ready. Want to make sure that you can hear us. Please put the comments in there. Tell us where you're listening from. I'm looking for your comments. I see a lot of you are already in here. Nice. Come on in. Come on in. We want to make sure everything is working. We don't want to start and leave you hanging. So give us some love. Give us some comments. Good. The numbers are going up. Yes. Where are you listening to us from? Where are you? Or tell us what you're doing if you're doing something good. If you're not doing something good, then don't tell us. All right, I see. Yes, come on, give us the comments. And if you're on here, this is my, what birthday is this for me? This is my 25th birthday. So 25 likes. Hi, Daryl. I see you. Give us 25 likes. You can send me $25. You can share 25 times. Choose one of those. All right. I see you guys coming in. Tonight we have some of the veterans that have been with me since we started Mancave Conversations. They've grown and have their own, doing their own thing, and we're going to tell you about some of them. All right, come on. I'm seeing you coming in, but I'm not seeing the loves and the likes. Okay, good. Yeah, we're seeing some heart. Daryl from Queens, New York. Jerry George, you're listening. I see you. That's so good. Listen, this is a good time to bring your girlfriend, your wife. Just tell her, sit right down. Hi, Maurice from Trinidad and Tobago. See, we played some Trinidad music because some people don't know that I'm from Trinidad and Tobago. And so we wanted to play some Blessed Messenger. He's one of my favorite gospel-lipsonian. I think I just made that word up. Gospel-lipsonian. Hello, Facebook user. Okay, hi, Rhonda. Good. Rhonda, Jerry, Daryl, come on, tag your friends. Let them, we want to see those numbers going up. Okay, come on, yeah. Good evening, beautiful woman of God. Okay, I'll take that from, oh, the Andersons are on. Hello. Great. Someone is coming up as, okay, someone is saying we need to make it shareable. So someone on my team make sure that we're streaming on 5-6 different platforms. So make them shareable. We're also on YouTube. Make it shareable so that they can share. Thank you for that. Hi, Sparkle. That's a beautiful name. Okay, great. All right, good. Those numbers are coming up. We're at 30, 40, 30 something right now. Okay, good. Sparkles, come on, invite your friends. Let's just kind of flood this place. We're gonna have some really great conversations here tonight. So we want you to invite your friends. I see you guys coming. I see you guys. Sparkle, where are you from? Let us know where you're from. We have some people from South Africa that's on. We have people from Jamaica that's listening. All my peoples. We have people from Trinidad and Tobago, and of course, Queens, New York. We have Maryland and Chicago. Okay, good. All right, so let me start introducing these men, these marvelous men of God. I don't know who to start with first. I think we should go in alphabetical order. That will save me. Hi, Samantha. Samantha George. Good. All right, so in alphabetical order, I want us to put our fingers together and help me welcome. I still need you guys to share. 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 All right. So I think according to my if I remember going to school in terms of the alphabet, I think we have a B. So let's introduce to you guys Mr. Bruce. I don't know if you're still the Batman. Are you still the Batman, Bruce?
I am.
You are. Great. What have you been up to? We're gonna hi Winthia. I see you. Come on, guys. Invite your friend. What have you been up to?
Well, as always, I've been studying and preparing and trying to stay COVID free. I just found out today that I was asked to write a book. So I'm going to break down and go ahead and get that done.
Amen.
Yeah, it's long overdue.
Yeah, you've been talking about the Alpha Man. So who is the Alpha Man?
The Alpha Man is a very rare man. He's God's man. God said, I'm the Alpha and the Omega. I'm the beginning and the end. An alpha man is God's man. He is thoroughly masculine. He is full.
Why is he rare, though? If he is God's man, we have a lot of men of God. Why is he rare?
He is rare because he carries the energy and the focus of the Most High. He is completely masculine in a world, in a society, in a culture that is shifting, that is mixing genders.
Oh, okay. All right. We're gonna go.
I gotta go there, Doctor.
I know. We're gonna go, listen. We're gonna go in. I am so happy to have you here tonight. I'm gonna go to the next person. Just kind of introduce to you. Who else do we have here in our room? We're gonna go alphabetical order. So let us bring in Mr. Dixon. How are you doing, sir?
Hi, Dr. Cheryl. How are you?
I am well. What have you been up to since last we met?
Just, still, doing the shows, different things like that. Your typical work, staying, like Bruce said, staying COVID free. I dabble into quite a few things,
Okay, inquiring minds would like to know.
I stay out of. Well, I just finished being a part of a book project where it's like multiple authors going on, and so that's supposed to be coming down the pike soon. So that was pretty exciting to do. I have several books in my psychological hopper that I am just holding there. And when this opportunity came, I said, now the floodgates are going to just bust open after this. So nonetheless, that's going to be that. I welcomed it, and I said, well, let's just let it flow. And so when your opportunity came back around, I said, this is the original birthing place. So I said, we have to continue with Dr. Cheryl. This is the man cave where it all started. I always joke, Dr. Cheryl, when you first told me about this show, of course, we used to always talk about any and everything when it came to relationships. But when you said to me years ago, I want you to be on the show, I was pretty nervous. I was like, me on no, but but over time it worked out well, so it was good.
No one would believe that.
Oh my goodness, yeah, I would not. I did not want to be on. I did not want to be on live anything. So yeah, you're right.
I am so proud of you. I see all the stuff that you and Bruce are doing. Now I said, these are my babies.
Yeah.
We birthed them. All right, we have
Yeah.
one more person to bring on before we delve into the real conversation. All right, so let's welcome Mr. Julian Varner. What have you been? Well, you're kind of like a newbie to Mancave Conversations, so welcome. Tell us a little bit about you. Well, we can't hear you.
Can you hear me now? Okay. Well, I'm Julian Varner, born, bred, and raised here in New York City, Harlem, born, bred, and raised, musician, producer, minister, servant, Julian. And I've known you for quite some time. Back in the New Life Christian Bookstore days is where we met, and had a group back then, been producing records and serving as a minister of music in many capacities across the board. Just graduated Nyack College, whoop, whoop, class of 2020. Took me a minute, started, stop. Life happens. And now actually getting ready to jump right back in for a bachelor's in biblical theology. So just continuing that journey, which adds to the totality of my brother that talked about the alpha man. I believe we're not really an alpha man until we actually know what the word of God says of who we are. So in embracing who we are, that's what we're on the search for. That's what our journey is about.
Awesome. We're gonna have some fun time here. We are going to agree. We're going to disagree. I can't wait for us to start. I gave you a moment so that you can bring all your friends in. The first thing that we're going to talk about is the fact that she can hook him but can't keep him. She can hook him but can't keep him. So many times, I don't think, and I need interaction from you guys. If you agree, say yes. If you don't agree, say no. I don't think women have a problem in getting a man, and the guys I see the guys' minds turning, and they may totally disagree with me, but I don't think the problem that women have is being a good bait. I think what we're missing is the ability to keep the man. We can bring them in with whatever, whether it's our charisma, our hips and the tips, and all those other kinds of stuff, but we do not have the ability to keep. And some of you may disagree, but the statistics shows how many repartnering or broken relationships, broken marriage, divorce is up. So this is the first topic. We're going to try to touch on all of them like really quickly. I'm going to bring everyone in so that we can have this discussion. So what do you guys think? She can hook him but can't keep him. Is that
That's
Well, I think she can't keep him because she hooked him.
Okay, break that down. Break that down.
If she hooked him, that for some reason that sounds very like Delilah-ish. If she hooked him, then she had to come with some type of gimmick or a false presentation, which usually changes midway in the relationship or once the honeymoon stage is over.
Bruce, it's too early for this, man. It's way too early for this to take me here. Bruce, it's too early. Listen, why am I the only one there? So here's my dilemma with that. One, I think we talk about Delilah as if she's a bad person, but I don't think she's a bad person. But let's not go there yet. Why are you saying that it's if I look cute and I attract a man, why is that bad? Bruce?
Well, because a man, Lord have mercy, you just said don't get started so soon, but but a man is not going to be kept by looks. Looks and hips and lips and fingertips, they come a dime a dozen. They come a nickel a dozen. So she has to have a strength of character. She has to have a posture for which she reverences and respects that man.
All right, let me let some of the other guys comment because Bruce, I told you it's already it's way
I'm going heavy. I gotta go heavy, Doc.
It's because so you're saying that the woman should not try initially, she should not try to hook him. She should start with trying to keep him.
No, a woman shouldn't. A woman, in my humble opinion, a woman shouldn't try anything. A woman should work on herself so she can be her best self, physically, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, financially, the whole 9 yards, and position herself to be found.
But I think sometimes some of y'all blind because she is there. I know personally some amazing women. All right, I'm gonna go dirty. I'm not gonna be. Listen, I'm going in. I promised them this year we're gonna go in. Right, I'm gonna go in. Why is it that 3 of you are single? Is it because there are no good women, who are positioning themselves to be found? Or you guys stop looking? Oh, I don't know what other reasons. I need some reasons. If she should just position, because people are positioning this way, that way, this way. People are positioning themselves on the mission field. People are sending you guys, meaning generally, pictures of the ups and the downs and the in-betweens, and still they can't get no hook, no pulling.
Well, Dr. Cheryl. I'm going to try to break it down this way. A difficult piece, meaning the man, needs a very intricate adapter to work with him. So if you're just talking about your, and this is no slight to anyone else, but your average Joe, right? Your average Joe carries a certain level of a mantle, and it's easily adaptable. And then there are some that may walk in a different light, and so to deal with them, it can be difficult. It can be difficult, and to kind of tap back onto what you said about she can hook them but not keep them. The thing is this: we as men we're wired for the bait, but we are bred. We're bred for the substance. You understand what I'm saying? We're wired for the bait, but we're bred for the substance. So you can have a group of men sitting outside right now just talking, and if attractive women coming down the street, it can be 7 guys. At least 5 or 6 of them are going to look. They're going to be like, yeah, they're going to look. Some may reserve their comments. Some may be vocal, but they're going to be thinking the similar pattern. But let's just say if one of those guys talks to her and she, as in today's lingo, men will say, you think she'll go? That's the kind of term. Like if I go over there, so you think she's going to go? So if she goes and if she buys the bait, yeah, he's going to chat with her. But depending on what he's looking for, if he's looking for the long haul, then he's immediately listening for the bait. If he's looking for the short haul, it doesn't matter what she says. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. It's too early. It's too early. It's too early. Julian, what's your 2 cents before I Here's a
I got $500. I don't have 2 cents no
so
more.
20 more topics to kind of put up there.
Right.
But here's the thing. Let's talk about Christian men, right? And we're talking about positioning the woman positioning herself. Now, what the analogy that Charles had is these 7 men sitting down, a fine woman passed, they're all going to look. But the question is she going to go? Why are Christian men asking women to go? Why men asking women to go? And I'm talking about, listen, I just got married, but prior to this, I was single for a lot of time. And Christian or no Christian, go ahead.
Dr. Cheryl, this is going to be an ugly answer, right? But this is the truth.
I like
the reason why a lot of the Christian men are doing what you said and are worrying about whether or not she's going to go or not is because if we're honest, in today's world, rarely do we see a distinction between the secular and the Christian. That's why. That's why the treatment a lot of times it's like a what do you call it, an assembly line approach, because sometimes let's just listen. We all know this. Like, where's the musician guy? Where is he at? Listen, we all know that yes, the difference is sometimes, it's in your behavior, and you're in the church, and you have to follow a certain pattern, and you don't want to stick out from the herd. But when it comes down to the one-on-one, a lot of times it's no difference. It's really no difference sometimes when it comes down to the needs and things of that nature. It really is. You might have to go through a few scriptures first, but then you might have to hear a few scriptures within,
The women are following the men. The man asks, and the women say, well, he's going to marry me anyway. And marriage, the whole definition of marriage, it's kind of like sort of kind of muddy. So let's go. So it's the man's fault. Julian, let's hear you.
I think part of the problem is that we've become, even from a Christian perspective, we've become very secular, the word that he used, in how we approach what is a sacred thing. We put a lot of the secular accoutrements ahead of what purpose is. If we go according to biblical perspective, and I heard what the other brother said, that a woman should position herself to be found. That's what Naomi taught Ruth, to position herself to be found. That when Boaz was going about working in the field, he left some things behind for her to glean. So she positioned herself to be found. But remember, he was about his work. He was about his purpose. So even though we might get attractive to, and as a younger man, yes, you're attracted to the outer appearance, because in the fall, I mean, I'm trying not to, but it's difficult to not go biblical. But if that's where we're from, and if that's what our essence is, we have to really engage that thought process. When the fall happened, the process of engagement was reversed. First, it became physical, then it became mental and emotional, and last of all, it became spiritually bound with a purpose. But in the original intent, it was always purpose bound, because it was not good for man to be alone. Then it became bone in my bone, flesh in my flesh. He realized an emotional level, and then he took his wife and knew her, which in the physical aspect became the last step in the process. Since then, it's reversed. It's out of order. It's out of order. So we oftentimes get attracted. And so the woman gets attracted to the man gets attracted to the woman. If by chance we make a connection emotionally and mentally, if not spiritually, and then the last part, if we hang in there long enough, we tap into what purpose is. But it's become skewed. So oftentimes, while the attraction is the thing that gets us hooked, and then while we tap into, we like the same movies and we like the same food, and we have some things that are in common, we oftentimes may miss getting to the higher level, which is about purpose. I know, you know, and like he said, my brother Charles, yeah, it's hard to not go deep with this. We have to give the true answers. And one of the true answers is that even Jacob, his purpose was fulfilled out of mostly the majority of his purpose was fulfilled out of a loveless situation. So we're not living in an era where really it's, and they lived happily ever after. Who says that? He married a woman that he didn't want to marry by being tricked into it, but then the woman he loved only brought him 20% of the entire purpose. The 80% was birthed out of a loveless relationship, and then God used 1% to save the rest of them. So, you know,
I hear you. I'm going to push a little bit. Here's the other topic. Night number 2. We're going to, you see, you guys are the ones who you kind of setting the foundation. Someone said someone over 50, if they're not married, it's not that they're not, I'm paraphrasing Deborah, that they're not looking for a wife. They have too many options. You know, one of the questions we're going to talk about later on is who has more options? Is it the man or the woman? Tell me, guys, who do you think? Who has more options when it comes to choosing or being married? Who has more options, male or female?
I mean, I think the women have more options. The women have more options.
Okay, Bruce, what do you say?
He has to unmute himself.
Okay, unmute yourself, Bruce. We don't hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I said we are in these days, in these last days, where it's 12 women every one man.
Yeah.
So you're saying so the man has the option.
The man has the option.
I think we misunderstood the question. So yeah. So in the way I understood it was to say if we're just out here and we're looking at like these are us men on the panel and just women in general have, I mean, the quantity of men that approach women are far more. I mean, men that approach women are far more than just women approaching us. Women get approached day in and day out. Anywhere they go, they approached by. They have options all day and every day. I think men, we're sought after. We're sought after and strategically positioned and chased and all that. But women are just, the quantity is there more to me. That's just my. Yeah.
Okay, so if we want to increase the number of marriage that we have in 2021, who has the deciding factor? Is it the male or the female that would be able to cause that number to be a high number?
Oh, the male, for sure.
I think it's even.
I would say in order for that to happen. I'm sorry, brother. Go ahead.
I think it's even. I think that if the man is doing what he's supposed to do and he sees someone that he desires to get to know and become, you know, he's attracted to her. But then if she decides that also, if this is what she wants, then they have to go through the process of connecting and hopefully praying and seeking God from a Christian perspective, and then finding out what purpose is about. I think when we get older, the desire is not just to have a boo and be booed up, you know, but we ain't doing what we got to do to get our paper up and our purpose up. If we can't do that, then there's going to be a problem. You can have a poor broke mindset with a rich mentality, and then the poor broke is going to fight against the rich because the perspective of how to spend our wealth and how to establish and develop our wealth is going to be different on both pages. And wealth, be it spiritual, natural, mental, all of the different platforms of what it encompasses. If we're not on the same page as to what wealth is for us together, there's going to be a conflict. So, you know, I think it's fair to say that a man can make a choice. The woman can say yay or nay to the choice, but it's all about what their frame of reference is, which often comes from family background. There's a lot of stuff that comes along with it. Family attachments, that is, even now, whether or not mama likes him or not, whether or not fellas, the father or the brothers and cousins like them or not, or if there's the courage enough to break away from family ties to become one with a person. Oftentimes we're fighting through all of the things that have clouded us and made us have a skewed sense of what love is supposed to be about, because Auntie Shaniqua did it this way. This is how we're going to do it. And there's a lot that comes into play.
All right, let's get Bruce quickly on this
Bruce.
one.
What's the question?
Male, male or female?
The brother was going in.
Who has the choice?
What's the question?
Male or female? Who decides? Who has the power to increase the number of marriages that take place in 2021?
I would say men.
Yeah, absolutely.
See, but the thing is, men, Doctor, men have to have a vision. See, if men have a vision, like Brother Julian was talking about purpose, man, if we have a vision, then a man would realize, or he would come to realize, that I need a helper.
So what's wrong? What's wrong with the men, man? I mean, like, there's a lot of. I'm gonna start a dating.
Well, see, Dr. Cheryl, you're just, what you just said was, the question you said was, what will it take to bring up the number in 2021? You didn't say whether or not they would survive. So for me, the number, what's gonna bring the number up is consistent-minded men, men that take their position and lead the way and be consistent and don't waver. The women will have no choice but to fall in line and be like, oh my God, Bruce is so this and that. I want to be his wife. Whatever, they're gonna fall in line. If most men if we all just banded together around the world, hand in hand, and say, guess what, fellas, we're gonna hold each other accountable. If you straight to the left, you straight to the right, we're just gonna go and be consistent. You will see more marriages. The problem is the women are relegating their wading in the pool, so to speak, because they know that there's some men that are serious, some men aren't, some men are playing, some men aren't, some men are cheating, some men are this. It's all over the place. Some men are in church, but they're not living up to their role. They're being hypocritical in the background, all this. And so these women are sitting around and they're strategically hoping and saying, it's like, what about him? I think Julian is serious. So he's not playing like this and this person. So I'm going to hope and pray on the Lord that he's going to choose me. That's kind of where it goes. But if most men had this kind of vernacular, it wouldn't be a question. You would see more marriages 24/7. Now, whether they work out, that's where the purpose and the vision part comes in.
All right,
But you can see the marriages just based off of that.
I'm watching somebody's comment. Somebody's comment says that men 50 and over that are single, they are single because they don't want to be married.
All right, let's go on. I gotta push y'all. I got that one. We'll push y'all. I wanted to find out, what is it a man would not do for love? Now, a lot of us think that men, they don't hurt, they don't yearn for love. One comment that I heard that I don't think I would ever forget, and someone posted it, sent it to me. The man said, if only the women knew how much we sit and we kneel or sit, whatever, and pray for them, pray for God to guide us to them. What are the limits to a man's love? When a man loves a woman, what would he not do? And I want to say that with the background of, there's some women who believe that the man is too shy. That's why he's not coming. I live in a different state. That's why he is, kind of falling away. He got hurt before. What happens, or what mountain can this man climb, if any? What is the power of a man when he does fall in love? What would he not do?
See, that's where I am challenged.
Okay.
Being one of those men that's over 50. Right? A man's concentration, doctor, is not on love. I'm sorry, brothers, if I'm, you disagree, please come and lay it out. At 51, I'll be 52 in November. I love you, yes. You love me, yes. But love is an action word. Love is a verb. Love is not a feeling. I feel elated. I feel warm. I feel joy and all this stuff when you respect me. That is what I am considering love at 52. When you respect me and you sacrifice your life to help me to continue to build my vision, that is you loving me.
Hold on. When you sacrifice your love and
No. I said your life.
yes.
Bruce said, get it right. Life. I said your whole life.
Your whole life.
Your life.
Oh Lord Jesus. Okay.
Got you speaking in tongues there, huh?
Is wrong with that, because here's the thing: are you asking a woman to lose herself so she finds love in you? Talk
Not
to
at all.
man. Talk to. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not asking her to lose herself. I'm saying if she assists me in building my vision and give me that respect and reverence, she will find herself. She will not lose herself.
So she is lost until found by you.
Nope. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that the essence, and we'll talk about this later as we get into the alpha manhood conversation. But if she responds to that godly masculinity that is taking care of her, protecting her, and so on and so forth, and all those things that a man should do regarding his wife, then her concentration is to help me, to assist me. I'm gonna cover and do all those things that a man should do. Kindness, honor you, show you love, tenderness, affection, and all that stuff. But I am not, doctor. I am not. I repeat, Bruce is not going to go through the sun, the moon, and the mountains. I'll give you the world. Nope.
Okay, let's find out. Let's see if all the brothers understand, because there's some people who would, I'll swim the deepest ocean, climb the highest mountain for you, girl, for you, just for you. Does that still exist, or did it die?
And that is one of the reasons why most marriages are ended in divorce.
Okay,
I believe it still exists. I believe it still exists. I'm a hopeless romantic. No matter how many times or whatever, failed relationship or not, I believe that aspect exists, because if we're going for our utopia as a man, we're trying to find it, whether we find it through work or we find it through what we do in church services. And if we're looking for it in relationship, for us to enter into our Garden of Eden, it has to be if our partner is alongside of us, it has to be with them as well. So I'm not really finding peace until my mate finds peace as well. And then I have to be the one that helps to facilitate, to bring her into that peace. One of the things that I think is
what will stop you from, if you love someone, what would you not do? Would you climb the highest mountain, swim the deepest ocean so that she can enjoy your love?
Of course. I mean, and I've done that in my own regard and in my own estimation. I've done that. But if a woman doesn't want it, then there's a problem.
Let's not go there. So are you single right now? Right now, because if you're going to climb the highest mountain, and Bruce is not home, Bruce saying, just die for me. Bruce said, give your life. All right, let's Charles, give me something, Charles. Charles, are you going to climb the highest mountain, swim the deepest ocean for love and romance?
I think if a man loves, if he loves, period, he wants to make sure she's good, she's okay. Like he doesn't want her to lack emotionally. Now here's the tricky part. Sometimes women can lack emotionally but not voice it. So if you don't voice it, he can't correct what's not voiced, right? But because most of the times what women misunderstand, we're looking for the physical deficiencies. We're looking for your face expressions to be like you're upset and all these different things, which may waver just depending on the day. But sometimes women will hold those deep things. And I've even heard women say things before, like maybe they were getting a particular need, an emotional need met elsewhere, but physically they're with you. They're in your presence. And that was always kind of baffling to me. But that's why men, if nothing else, you have to keep your pulse on that emotional lack, because that is the scary part. The physical part we try to handle by being in your presence or asking you questions or buying you this or taking you there, these different things like that. But those other little silent things, they can go dormant and we don't know. And once that emotional lack dwindles, it's really bad,
Yes.
Yeah.
Charles, sidebar. I told you I see Robert Lee is in the the comments. Robert should be on the show. So
yeah, Robert. Actually, yeah, I was gonna tell Robert to join in for sure.
That it's
Robert
Bruce.
said we will climb the highest mountain to maintain our relationship. Women should stop thinking that she has duties in this relationship.
Yeah, I get that. Okay, let's push ahead. We have some other
Questions
here that you guys let's see if Bruce redeems himself. So there's it's a situation that has happened with one of our pastors, one of pastors of a really big church, someone that I know personally. But here's my the question. So this indiscretion happened a couple years ago, and it happened again. And one of the things that he said was that he used the Delilah story, and he said the problem that Samson had, the reason why Samson got into that particular situation was because he thought Delilah loved him. Here's questions I want you. I mean, I thought I was profound. I'm not, trying to validate his indiscretion or whatever, but I thought that was so profound because you can see him, this mighty man, Samson. And I know those of you who've been listening to me know how I feel about Delilah, and I think she is a woman that we can sit at her feet and get learn something. She used the information she had in the wrong way. It doesn't mean that we need to throw out the baby in the bathwater. But he said the reason he became vulnerable was because he thought Delilah loved him. Has there, guys, talk to me about how women may misuse your vulnerability and what would be the consequence of that when you
no Dr. Cheryl, really quickly, I personally don't think Samson fell for Delilah because he thought she loved him. I think he fell for Delilah because she was the complete opposite of what he was used to. She was dangerous, she was risque, she wasn't safe and holier than thou, she was edgy in his time. She was against his grain of what he thought was all things right in a woman. And on top of it, she was beautiful. So that was a masterpiece of a concoction in his eyes. And so look, Bruce, listen, you guys listen. Think about this when you're younger. And let's just say you come from a certain part of DC, Bruce, and then the girl lived in Valley Green back in the day, Berry Farms. And your family would say, Bruce, you don't go over there to Berry Farms to see that woman. Berry Farms, you guys, is a notorious ghetto in DC that was really bad, right? And so you wouldn't go in there to see the women, no matter how cute they was, because you might not make it out. So the point is, if you go into these places, you go in there willingly. So my point is, Samson went in to Delilah willingly because what the trade off of what he got from her was worth it at the time. Now, he didn't think it would lead to death, but he thought the pleasure portion of it was worth the risk of getting to her. That's just my opinion.
That's a very good and broad stroke to add to the story. I mean,
Yeah.
It is. I mean, and then we also have to understand that where Samson had come from. You know,
Right.
the woman that he first wanted and he desired, she lied to him,
Yeah.
basically.
Right.
All right, and then her father gave her to his companion. Okay, so and then the Philistines came and burnt them up, killed them. So then, what a lot of people don't bring out, even in this story as well, is that Samson was a judge over Israel for 20 years
Yes, absolutely.
before he loved Delilah.
Right.
He was a judge for 20 years. So watch this. If he had an option of women, trust me, he had an
He had
option of
plenty.
when
Yeah.
he sat as a judge for
Right.
20
Right.
years.
Right. Absolutely.
So how does it come to the point where he sees a woman and he loves her? I think maybe some of those risque and all of the other colors and flavors he came across as he sat as a judge for 20 years. But for
Yeah.
whatever the reason, he looked at Delilah and the scripture says he loved her. Now, one of the things what love is to me is not just as our brother said earlier, love is not really just a feeling, and a man would
Yeah,
rather
that's
have
true.
respect than love. But I really believe also love is a decision. He made a decision to
Yeah,
love her. So
absolutely.
now here's the thing.
But you
Now,
guys, you
Delilah,
guys,
let me just say that. Let me just say this,
you
because
guys are
Delilah
doing,
really is not the type of person that we want to ask women to model after, because what she
listen,
did was she wore him down, she wearied
Yeah.
him, she nagged him.
listen. If you do the study, you realize the vulnerability that, first of all, the men around or the people around knew that if they could not, if they wanted someone to tap into the vulnerability of a man, she did not have a gun, she did not have an axe, she did not have a knife. What she had was the skill to be able to unmask the man to that point. And here's the thing, and sometimes we tell the story. You guys can say no, but at the end, the Bible says
She wearied him,
it wearying, that's the same thing.
she wore him out.
Listen, it does not matter. And what I'm saying is, when we come with an idea of this is what the story is, the Bible says that he loved her. My question is, stay with my question is, what happens when a man believes a woman loves him, becomes vulnerable to her,
Okay.
then realizing she was on game? What happens to him? And especially if he has to get into another relationship, does that other woman who come, what does she meet? Now, here again, here's what I'm saying. The man believes the woman loves him, opens up his everything. He gives her all. He gives her the romance that Julian is talking about. She lays down her life like Bruce is talking about. That's what he believes, that all of this is what he will get from her. But then realize she was just on game. What happens to the man?
There's a ripple effect that happens to some of the most unsuspecting partners that follow her. It's ripple effect of resentment, and he is 9 times out of 10 he is going to be emotionally unavailable. He'll be physically present. He'll raise his hand when she calls his name, but emotionally she's not going to touch it, because he does not want to revisit that place. Once a man relinquishes himself in full totality, it is the most vulnerable picture you'll ever see in a man. So to get to that, to have that torn down, and then have to readily trust to have it safely handled again. Most men are logical thinkers, and so if you think about generals and war, men are coming from the art of war standpoint. So they feel like, okay, you shot me the first time I revealed some of my armor, and you halfway killed me. I'm not going to do it again. And so you can send all your sisters and all your other warriors, but it's just not going to happen. So that's basically until he feels he gets to a point where men know when they are well and when they're not. If we're not well, we're going to continue to operate. But when you're well, you're ready to just get back on that wheel and give it a try. You know what I'm saying?
How does she, and Bruce or Julian, tell me, how does she, because this one person, the Delilah, the first encounter with Delilah wrecks this man, kind of, sort of. How does a woman make him whole again, or is it something that the woman would do to make him whole again? Because it's not fair to him for every other relationship to go downhill because of Delilah, and it's not fair to the woman because the woman don't realize that you're scarred or broken.
Right.
Yeah.
I think in knowing that if my trust has been betrayed, and so but yet someone else is going to come along, I know that there are some things that I have to get over, and if I'm going to be honest, I have to be honest with that person to say, look, I've been hurt, so please forgive me. This is what I go through. I may pull back, but it's not you. And so it may be even that I have to convince someone else that some of the things, the repercussions of what I'm going through has a lot to do with me still pressing forward to become who I'm supposed to be as that alpha man in my destiny and in my calling. So I'm struggling with not letting that slip away from me and slip through my fingers. So now I'm paying more focus and attention to who I am and where I'm going. So she's going to have to do more to try to keep up with me with my destiny, because now I've let a relationship take me off track. And now my focus is I'm not letting another relationship take me off track in a sense. So, I'm going to have to weigh it out and trying to play the balancing game. But my focus is really going to be on where am I going now? Where am I supposed to be? And how am I getting there as an alpha man? She's going to have to become an alpha woman, so to speak. She's going to, unfortunately for that person, she's going to have to try to keep up in a sense.
Okay, Bruce.
Who's Dr. Cheryl?
In my humble opinion, doctor.
Listen, I always get scared in your humble opinion, right?
Yes,
all right, go ahead.
Maybe it's me, but I am only going to give my vulnerability to the woman that earns it. I am not giving my vulnerability simply because you are the woman and I am supposed to love you. No, you are going to earn it. I don't want to sound real hard in saying it, because I believe in love. I believe in romance. But there's a fine line between the fantasy and the reality of what we are living. There's a fine line between it. And the majority of what people are calling love is fantasy.
Yeah.
And that's why it's not lasting. Yeah. So for me, you want my vulnerability, you got to come and get it. You're going to work for it. You are going to earn it. And as you earn it, I'm going to become more and more and more vulnerable. But my goal, to piggyback on what Brother Julian said, my goal as an alpha man is I am pursuing purpose. You have to earn that with me. You have to chase God like I'm chasing him. You got to almost try to run as fast as me to get to that finish line so we can finish our faith together. And that is how I will know that you love me. But all of the cute, cuddly things, that is not going to get my vulnerability. That'll get you some flowers and a date and all those things. But that work will get you my vulnerability.
Hey, Dr. Cheryl, what I have noticed is over time that when it comes to us men, one thing I can say I've learned from my own mistakes in the past is if we have been wounded, regardless of our desires and our innate willfulness to desire another woman, if we have to get to Julian said something that reminded me, if we have to get to a point that we have to get in a exchange with a woman where we tell her, I'm sorry, I've been hurt. That is your beacon signal that you don't need to be dating. If you have been hurt, you need to be somewhere resting until you are well. The problem is we go on, we look like, if we were to look at us outside of our normal beings, we look like old men on crutches saying, wait a minute, Cheryl, my leg still, I can't bend my leg. Cindy almost took my leg off, and we're gonna bring up the other woman and all what this person done to us and all that. And technically, we're just not a place where we're ready to take on a woman. You need to be you need to be whole and well to be able to cover her in its totality. And if you're not able to cover her, you're on a crutch, you're handicapped. And so the relationship will be handicapped because you're not leading her properly. So that's why I said, going back hindsight 2020, if I had to do a lot of the things I've done over again, I certainly would not rush into things just because I'm a man and I need a woman, regardless if I've been hurt or not. But if you've been hurt, you need to take the time and do the work to get better, as opposed to leaving a tornado path of hurt as a result of your hurt. That's what happens when you move out of line,
And now I hear you. Here's the other we're pushing a little bit. This is an age-old question, because the same scenario we're talking about with the pastor. What is a man looking for when he has a good wife, an amazing wife, sex is good, respect is there? What is it that makes him go looking around? And here I want you guys to, I want to push your theology, because I know all of you are men of God. Push your theology a little bit.
Okay.
Whereas, can it be? And some people are not going to invite me to speak at their church after that. Oh well, Bruce will build a church, and I'll go there and be.
Bruce said the church without walls. He got a church without walls.
Yeah, the church without nothing.
Yeah.
In the Bible days, all through Scripture, all we're seeing is polygamous relationships. Polygamous relationship, and those of you who don't know, I am a licensed family therapist. I'm a licensed psychologist, clinical psychologist, and a theologian. Let me just add that in there. So, in looking at the Bible, and one of the things I realized that as Christians, we come to the Bible from a place of more emotions, and when we don't understand it, we call it sin. Whatever we don't understand or that does not fit into whatever paradigm we have. So I want us to explore this a little bit. I'm going to say this is going to be a night by itself. I'm just going through all the topics. Is man, so in biblical days, you have all the people, every person that was used by God. Well, not every single person, because you have Paul and some of the other people who are not married, but they have multiple wives. Are we in the 20th century fighting against an innate nature of man? I'm not saying that it is biblically right. I'm talking about we as human beings, there's some things that we do. The arms move, whatever. So is there inside of man, the male man, a desire for polygamy, but he needs to control that by the Holy Spirit? The reason why I'm saying that, I think if you acknowledge the problem of having that desire for multiple people, you can come to God's grace and mercy and ask him to help you through. With every temptation, there's a way of escape. But unless a man acknowledges that this is what he's dealing with, he would forever find himself in problem. There seems to be a core of the male man, whether it's a David, it's an Abraham, it's a Jacob, it's who all of those people who God loved. In fact, I'm going to mess up the theology a little bit more. When David found himself with Bathsheba, What God said, the problem was not that he was going for Bathsheba, but who she was married to.
Mm.
God said, I would have given you another wife, another woman, but you
Mm-hmm.
went with her. And
Mm-hmm.
just knowing how many he already has. So
Mm-hmm.
can you guys think about and respond to the fact, not the fact, the thought that there's a big possibility that the male man is battling with that innate nature for multiple relationships at one time.
Mm.
That doesn't mess with my theology at all. That
Yeah, mine either.
doesn't mess with my theology at all. I believe that there are certain things that were just cultural and that are still cultural in the world today in terms of where we live and what our backgrounds are and the frame of references that we have in growing up. I think that there are just examples that we follow because certain things were acceptable in a certain era and in certain places and at certain times. What's acceptable for us today, whether we're right on it or not, or if we're kind of missing it. The Bible says that whatever I'm tempted with as a man
Mm-hmm.
now, that
Mm-hmm.
whatever my lust is, a man is tempted when he's enticed and drawn away of his own lusts. So
Mm.
whatever my lust and my temptations are, those are real issues. Paul said it
Mm-hmm.
as a single man, that when I would do good, evil is always present. So I find the
Mm-hmm.
Lord warring against the law of my mind, bringing me into captivity of the law of sin and death, which is in my flesh. And when I
Mm.
would do good, evil is always present. And what's always the present factor? Me.
Mm.
So
Mm.
the idea is in keeping with what I understand is morally correct and right in the culture that I live in. Now, if we were in the culture and it was a practice to have multiple wives, then it would be fine. But even within that, there's still rules and regulations so it's not just about, oh, you got a woman and you can just do whatever you want to do. You be with one night and be with there's still rules and regulations within a polygamous a culture setting. It's not just that
Mm-hmm.
you can just have more than one woman. You got
Mm-hmm.
to be able to take care of it's economics, it's everything. It's being able to
Mm-hmm.
also mentally deal with them, and then it's within also in some dynamics, the first wife also being in agreement to so there are other things. It's not just the idea of, oh, I can just have 2 or 3 wives.
Yeah, but I want to push the fact that it's inside because I am seeing, and we all are seeing, this
Yeah.
struggle. This struggle is real, and I think if you feel pain in the body and you're able to identify the root of the pain, then you can concentrate on getting healing. But I'm seeing it. I'm seeing based on I'm in private practice. I have people. I'm going to
I
be honest.
understand what you're saying.
Not all the people.
So, Dr. Shell, you want an admission. All right, let's
Yeah,
get real.
exactly. But you're not going
All
to get it
right.
out of me. I'm
So
not
listen,
saying
Dr.
that.
Cheryl. It is.
Yeah.
I am of the belief that if it were not for the call of integrity on a man's life, that his
Come
default
on, brother.
position would be prostrate with
Come
multiple
on.
women
Yes.
if he had the
Exactly.
choice.
Easy. That's easy to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If he had the choice. But the challenge is it's just that what the bone that God threw us is he threw us that bone of conviction to challenge our integrity, to say, do you just want to lay down and be a dog your whole life? Or are you going to
Yes.
get yourself together, Julian Bruce Charles? You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And live the way I designed you to live. Other than
Exactly.
that, we look at life like a beautiful box of crayons that we want to draw with. That's the truth.
Listen,
Exactly.
I respect that. I really respect that
Yeah.
because I don't think if somebody got a deep revelation and could prove it from scripture that it was okay to do that. Now many people would do that, and I think we need. It's not something. I mean, I've
Yeah.
been approached someone when I was single, approaching someone said about being you know, the concubine. Like, no, I can't. In Bible days, I'll be a mess because I'm too selfish. I want my man for myself. Ain't no sharing. It's not that
Yeah.
there's a two. I don't even want to be number one. I want to be the only one because number one, my meme is a 2, 3, 4, 5. That's not me.
Mm.
But I think it's, and I applaud you guys for being able to even consider having that conversation. If it were not for the grace of God, it's just like we have
Yeah.
propensity to do something, but we're restrained by the word of God. But if a woman, let me talk to our sisters now, when we understand that, we approach it differently. We can see, which we don't condone, we can see how it is possible for a man to love his wife and sleep with another
Yeah.
person.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
You know why? Without even being married, I'll tell you what I've seen done, what I've seen like in different various married scenarios. To me, especially when you're talking about when you begin to talk about leaders on a different plateau and level in life in terms of their ministries and things like that. What it seems to me, and this may seem unfair to the woman, but it seems like this is an issue of him being stroked. Once the stroking lessens, the straying greater. It's greater. You know, the straying gets greater. The stroking, I'm telling you what it is. It's like there is a psychological stroking that he lives by, and when that stroking is non-existent, he's vulnerable. And that next person, you have a word. Oh my God, look at that suit. That's it. And here comes the new stroking, and it's a seed planted. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah.
talk to me,
Yeah.
guys, about how important that is, because we you know, you can have women who say, you know, grow up, you know, why do I have to tell you you're fine all the time? What is that? What, I mean, how valuable is that to the male man?
It's called a breath
What's
of
that?
fresh air.
Oh,
The stroking
yeah.
that you talked about.
Oh,
That's a
yeah,
breath of
absolutely.
that's a
Because
breath of
tell them,
fresh air.
Julian. Yes, a wise woman. Like I said to you
Mhm.
on one of your things before, like sure, I would think we were in New York when I said the wise woman knows when I say when she knows she has that precise timing. She knows when to and when not. She knows exactly how to. She knows how to just compliment him. That's pretty much. She knows how to just touch those little areas where he don't. He she's kind of foreseeing his thoughts, his needs. She knows how to compliment him on his. Maybe he brought out a new bow tie. Maybe Julian wore a new bow tie to church that nobody noticed but this one person. Now him,
Mhm.
he knew what it cost to buy it, and he knew he had been eyeing it for months. And when he came in the door, no one said a thing but this one person.
For
You
one
understand?
person.
That one little stroke goes a long way. You know?
Okay, all
And
right.
it takes
Breath
Yeah.
of fresh air doesn't always make it right,
Yeah.
but it's what it is.
Right.
the concentration off of her and puts it on him for a minute.
Correct.
Instead of, as we are operating in our hopeless romanticism, as
Mhm.
opposed to flooding her with the comments and making sure that we constantly let her know how she looks and so on and so forth, it takes the concentration off of her and puts it on us. That she is focused in on how we are looking, how we are smelling, so on and so forth,
Yeah.
as opposed to what we do or what we
Yeah.
are supposed to do.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, again, those of you who are watching, these are just the topics that we're going to go into them in depth. I just want to kind of get these guys to talk about some of the things that's coming up. So I know we want more. There's so many questions. I see Philip and Daniel and Robert and Nicole giving us some really great stuff there. And just we have until the end of the month. We're going to be here Monday through Friday, every night for the entire month of September. So we're going to go into these topics a little deeper later on. So here's another thing. We can't do four things. Some things that women miss when dealing with an alpha man. And I'm going to start with Mr. Alpha Man. I'm going to start with Mr.
Go ahead,
Alpha
Bruce.
Man. Everything I've been seeing so far in the past little while. So Give me a brief idea as to what you're talking about. I know Julian mentioned about an alpha woman. Is there such a thing as an alpha woman? Does an alpha man need an alpha woman? Bruce?
I believe that there are alpha women. But as far as alpha men, one thing that a woman misses or misunderstands about an alpha man is that he is not moved or manipulated by emotions.
That's cool. So if she cries, that means nothing. If she's hurting and like, baby, I miss you, baby, let's hold hands. I'm mad because you don't hold my hands anymore. That does not do anything to the alpha man.
An alpha man is not moved or manipulated by emotions. It doesn't mean that an alpha man is not emotional or not sensitive or not caring or not kind. We're all those things, but we are not manipulated by the emotional nature of a woman.
Give me an
example. As we go into this, doctor, some of the things that I'm going to share is going to sound really hard.
So share one now. So because you're going to be on that night when we're talking about it, so you can save some for later. But give us one, just one. I'll take a deep breath. I'm ready for the hard reality, Bruce. One.
I can repeat what I said tonight, that alpha man is going to expect his woman to earn his love and vulnerability. She is not going to get it simply because she is his woman.
And what does she get in return?
She gets protection, she gets provision, she gets sensitivity, she gets covering, she gets kindness, she gets a listening ear, all those things that she wants in a man. But she's not just going to get it because she exists. See, we have a biblical dynamic of how things are, and then there's the reality of how things are. And I like to deal with how things are in reality. Now, we are full of the Spirit. We are anointed men. So we are kingdom. We have a kingdom conscious. But everybody outside these walls don't have that. That's why the numbers of divorces are like they are. So those are the things that I like to address. Little Pookie and them, doctor, you know what I mean? The street people.
Yeah, so how does a woman know she's dealing with an alpha man? Because it seems like most men are alpha male.
I would suggest that most men are not alpha men. I would submit humbly that most men are beta men. That most men nowadays, especially amongst our people, are very emotional. That's why they don't get a lot of respect from their women, because you guys feel like you're dating yourself.
No, I mean, you do you understand how beautiful it is to have a man to have a man who is sensitive to your hurts and will pamper you a bit. What are you talking about?
Absolutely.
A harsh man will just be like, stop the crying and get up and
No. See, that's what I don't want you or your listeners to think, that I'm saying that an alpha man is a hard, brutal. No. We're very God's man. You have the heart of Christ. You are sensitive. You cover her. You love her, and all those things. But the only thing that differs between how a woman responds to an alpha man as opposed to how she responds to a beta man is that she will not use her nature like a Delilah. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah, it does. I'm gonna bring the guys. Here's the thing. Let me ask a question.
So
Charles, I'm giving her a hard time tonight, Charles.
I love it. I love it. I want to know. Go ahead.
There is a very distinct difference between I guess for lack of better words, the way Bruce is, if I'm following him right, he's from the godly alpha and from the controlling alpha. The controlling
Correct.
alpha, with the controlling alpha, what you know the difference is the woman loses her voice. She becomes non-recognizable to her family and her friends because he is almost to the point where he is lording over her. And I mean, she's
Right.
not making
Not
any
that guy.
decisions without without him. She's not. And here, look, here's another thing. If the woman is very loud, he's more than likely beta. If she's really, really loud, her volume is way up, he's beta.
Yeah.
If her volume is easily adjustable and a little low, he may be alpha. But it just depends. Because in a lot of these situations, like just listen to what Bruce is saying. If just imagine yourself in an environment, Bruce, and I think one of the misconceptions you all have about Bruce is 100% about order. Now he is an alpha male, but he's not a boss controlling
I'm not a Hulk.
bully. No, he's sensitive,
Right.
but he just has a standard, and he's stone cold to his standard, and a lot of people get thrown off by that. So you have to but to get Bruce, you have to just have to be in his presence and allow him to see that you're not there for the stuff, and that you cool with connecting and working a plan of building with him. And that's really, it's not as difficult as women think it is. But they make these things out of conundrums, and it's not. You know.
Let me add.
And sure, you know, I'm being extreme on purpose, by the way.
Correct.
Understand, and we're gonna give you that night. It's coming up on the 14th, I think.
If I can add something to what Bruce just said, just really quickly. I won't take long. He said this: an alpha man won't be manipulated. So
Yes,
what an alpha man can see, and we can say a discerning man can see, is that when the tears, though they may be real, are not real. You know how your parent used to say, no, it's true. You know how your mama used to say, honey, stop crying them crocodile tears. You understand?
Right.
So a man can just see when something is sincerely from the heart, as opposed to it just being, that pouty face right there. Yeah. We could tell the difference. So we just don't bend in to the poutiness that when it's something, and usually, sometimes you might give in to play along with the game, but when it comes down to something that is serious, that has to be addressed, that has to be talked about, that governs and will say something about where we are in life. No, come on, put that away for a second and let's have the hard conversation. Not that you can't do that.
We're not subjected to witchcraft.
Alpha man, that I actually love the poutiness, because that actually attributes to me being alpha man. Okay. But there's a time for it. There's a place for it.
I'm gonna leave it until we come to the other time, because we're running out of time. How important is packaging on a woman important, or is it not? Because we downplay packaging. A lot of what has been said tonight, a lot of what is being said is that men want the inside. So are we saying that, and I want you to speak into the microphones.
All right.
Are we saying that the packaging, meaning the external part of a woman, is not important? We're not saying that inside, because you guys already said you want the inside good. We got that part. So you want to know if it can look like a hot, let me not sway you. Is the packaging of any importance, consequence in your decision in finding this woman, making her yours?
Most definitely.
Would you date?
Go ahead, Julian. Go ahead and start off, Julian.
Would you date?
Let's put Julian on the hot seat. Go ahead, Julian.
That's not a hot seat, man. That's without question.
That's real talk, right?
Yeah, that's real talk.
Well, Prisha from around the way, nappy here, dirty nails, not dirty, but just kind of like she's working. She's been working, so the nails are not done. How important is it important? Go ahead, Julian. They put you on the hot seat.
That's not a hot seat at all. Matter of fact, because I think every man, if we tell the truth, we want to ride or die. Period. Point blank.
But ride or die doesn't have to be cute.
No, ride or die means that if I want to go out and look fashionable, that she can ride. Ride or die is just all of those things that if we're going to stay in and we got the same comfy slippers, then that's what we do. So it's not a hot seat because, of course, a man needs what's going to be attractive to him, of course. So, yes, while we're attracted to what's on the inside, we want beauty that's on the inside and the outside.
All right.
Thank you. Praise the Lord.
Hallelujah. All right. So, Bruce.
Yes, a man wants a woman to be attractive.
Okay.
Highly attractive.
See, he said highly.
You see, that's what, okay, I want you guys, because I know this whole show, the goal here is for us to help the men to kind of clarify what they're feeling, what they're going through, and help the women as well. So what does highly, what's that highly beautiful, highly, what did you say? Highly
attractive.
Highly attractive. Bruce, can you tell me what highly attractive is, please? Let's put
Saul's gonna answer that. Saul, I'm sorry. I call him Solomon.
He gives me a nickname of Solomon. So anyway, so listen. That's my biblical nickname from Bruce. So listen, Dr. Cheryl. All right, let's think about this. Now, Bruce, correct me if I'm wrong, Bruce flips and sell homes, right? It's something similar to that degree. Now think about this. In all of your purchases, at some point, even if you come up on a house that really needs to be rehabbed, what is one of the most famous things a person will say? But it has great bones, meaning it has great shape, Dr. Cheryl. So basically what I'm saying is, even in certain areas where beauty or certain aspects of beauty or how it may be defined here and there, if that man admires the bones, that's all that matters to him. But trust me, the bones matter. You know how they say Black Lives Matter, bones and curves matter. They do, okay. Dr. Yeah.
I hear you. If you guys have to choose somebody who looked like, I had a friend, he's still my friend, who would say that whenever he's looking for a wife, he's going to go to the deepest part. I wouldn't call the country because it would sound, bad. But it is deepest, like the deepest country person who does not have TV, maybe have a bone in her nose or whatever, but she knows how to respect and honor him. Mm-hmm. If you have to choose between the external and the internal, that was Nicole Brown's question. Which one would you choose? Which one would you approach a person who looks like, Boquisha from around the way, bone in the nose, don't know anything, and you could train? Would you choose her rather than someone who looks very beautiful?
I mean, the beautiful part can be fine and well, but we definitely, if you're going to choosing is for the whole purpose of it all. So if you're going to choose, you're going to consider that physical piece for certain, but it can't be the end all be all, especially if you're looking to build something with your life. It has to be, that person has to fit into that realm of what's, how you guys are going to build together. So sometimes you may get you out of a 10, maybe you may get 6.5 or something that you're looking for, and the other half you make do with. That's just what it is. Same with women with us. It's not always a perfect 10 each time. You know what I'm saying?
But
let me voice it in a different.
A 3 or a 4.
Say that again.
Would you date a 3 or a 4?
Either one.
Charles says it has to be, like 6 or and 7.
I didn't say I just
I know.
Let me present this scenario. Okay, let me present this scenario. If I'm 3 or 4 blocks away, 2 blocks away, and I see one of those 2 women on the block,
right?
And so from a distance, with my eyes, I'm
Right.
going toward what's attractive to
Right.
me.
Right.
But once I get up on it and
Come on,
start
bro.
having conversation, and I
Mhm.
start
Yeah.
hearing the vernacular
Yes,
and
that
the
separates it.
exuberance of the vibosity, I
Yeah.
might say, excuse me, I'm going to cross the street. I'll be back in a
Correct.
few. But
Correct.
what's going to draw me, is going to be what's pleasing to my eyes. And I've heard women say that too, that he's pleasant on the eyes. You know, he's easy on the eyes. So, I think women want the same thing too. They want eye candy.
Yeah, yeah. You wanna? I like when a man says, and you guys can say whether this is true. I've been in a man cave so long that sometimes I just say it like it's my thing. But they want to be able to. They look at someone and say, "Do I want to wake up next to this
That's right.
every day, every night?" But
Yeah.
I'm using this not in a derogatory way, but without all the other stuff. Anyways, let's see if we can squeeze in three more. This one
Mm-hmm.
is, can you forgive her past? Can you forgive her past?
Mm.
If you have someone, so you have this person who we are just talking about, packaging is really good. She honors and respect, but previously, um, she lived a life that was, church prostitute, um, more sexual relationships than you have. Um, is that a big deal? Is that a game changer or is that a plus?
Mm.
Well, I look at it like this. I think I don't know about most men, but I think we can forgive what she can forgive. If she
Mm.
can't forgive it, that makes it difficult for us. Make a perfect example. If
I
you're
want
talking about somebody who used to be a prostitute and
nah,
and
stay with
oh
no
oh
Charles, no,
you
stay with
said
the
prostitute.
men.
You said
She,
oh
she
okay. You
did.
mean you said
Yeah, but I said stay with the men, right?
no?
Just
That's what
stay
I'm
with
saying. The men. Oh, you
no,
saying but you said the
but,
man forgiving her, right?
but it can't be contingent on her forgiving him.
Past,
I
right?
see what
Is
you're
that what you're
saying.
saying?
Yeah, but can he
Yeah,
just
that's what I was saying. I said if she can forgive her own past, he can forgive it. The
oh,
issue the
Let, let
issue
me
comes in if go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
let me ask this question:
so let,
Is
let,
it a past that we watched, or is it a past that we find out about after we talk?
what would be is there a significance in the difference? I would
Yeah,
like to
yeah.
break it down for me. But hold on. I want to hear what,
Mm.
because I thought Charles was saying that what the man forgives, he would forgive. But you're saying if I was the
If
temple prostitute and I can forgive myself, then you would forgive me. Am I getting that clearly?
and yeah, I'm saying that to say let's just say I'm gonna throw a bone from the past, right? I remember some time ago I was dealing with someone some really years back, but they had kind of like an unsavory past a little bit, right? And the problem was I was prepared to just take it on at face value and just not judge them, just take it on. The problem was every time I get a chance, well, you know what? If we go down to the carryout, you might see Bruce. And, I used to be involved with Bruce and his friends and this person. If they're constantly saying this, they haven't forgiven themselves. Because if they become to and they forgiven themselves, they may see Bruce and they're going to say, hey, and they're not going to add any
It
narrative
don't
to it.
even
But
matter.
if you're constantly trying to warn me of walking on eggshells, we shouldn't go over there. Maybe we shouldn't hang out at this church and over here because I did all these unsavory things. You haven't forgiven yourself. And so most men are not going to be ones like just like women. They don't want to be made a fool out of. So we don't want to be somewhere and be made look crazy. You know what I'm saying? Because someone hadn't brought you up to speed as to what's really going on and what
All
they've
right,
dealt with in their life. Yeah.
that's good. Julian, what was your contribution?
I think I said it. If it's something that we have to watch that she did, or if were we in the process of watching it all happen, because someone that has forgiven themselves doesn't live like that anymore. That's not what holds them captive. That's not what controls them. But if it's something that they're struggling with to get better on, and so here's where, as a man, I become ride or die as well. That hey, I can hold you down. Because you're displaying that you've gotten better, but maybe you just need healing. You need to be made whole. So that's where, because guess what? We all got to do that for each other, whether however
we
multiple
want to or not. Yeah.
or not, because if we've all been converted from a life of sin, sin is sin, no matter what it is. So as we're getting better and growing in the grace and the knowledge of Christ Jesus, because that is what we're talking about, right? Then guess what? Irrespective of where she's been, it's not, like the song says, it's not about where you've been, it's not about what you've done, but it's about what he's been, where he's been, and what he's done, his blood covering us. And if we're living in grace and we're moving towards something, then yes, we can forgive. And so this might touch on another topic, but then how about the grace we have to extend and the love we have to extend if someone messes up?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay, 2 more, and then we're gonna be out of here. Temptations of a married man. Okay, temptations of a married man. What are those? What are some of those temptations? I know some of you are not married, but you have married friends, or you've watched.
Yeah.
So if each one of you can give me one, that'll be really cool. So that the whole idea with this is that we as women would know what our brothers have to face, and maybe create a way of escape. Temptations of a married man. What are they?
Dr. Sher, I'll go first
Well,
since I haven't had the marriage history. They'll let the brothers do. I don't know if the brothers been married before, but I'll say this: from friends and, like you said, from affiliations of what I've seen, what I saw is the temptations of the married man are often the same temptations of the unmarried man. The man who got married, who right before he was married to her, those temptations were the same temptations. I remember a friend of mine. There was a particular type of woman that he used to date and deal with before he got married. His wife was kind of like the opposite. They're in Christendom and all of that. But as time went on in the marriage, a lot of times when he would make the jokes and we would talk about certain things, that particular joke was, man, this particular person I've seen today, I was like, oh my goodness. And I'm like, and then I'm like, who? And the person would resemble the people before the wife. So you understand? It was like similar temptations. He just carried them over and he just didn't quite deal with them, from my perspective.
Okay.
Sometimes we as men, we call ourselves dating. We call ourselves choosing safe, but not choosing authentically. We choose safe because we think, oh, she gonna look good on the front pew. But is she authentically your choice? And if she's not authentically your choice, if she's not the authentic choice, you're going to have the image, but you're going to have the private struggle.
Yeah, you know what? One of the things I talk to my colleagues about is about being full and not satisfied. And it's like you're craving KFC, and you go and KFC is closed, and you have to eat McDonald's. Fills you up, but craving is still there. You're not satisfied.
Right.
It's a horrible place for a man or woman. Tonight we're talking about man to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, Julian?
Yes.
What's your take on it? Temptations of a married man.
The temptations of a married man are, again, I agree with my brother here, are the same temptations of a single man. Sex is the only sin in the Bible that gives an alternative for. That's marriage. It's better to marry than to burn. So there's the option of marrying if you cannot handle the temptation.
Right.
So now what happens now in terms of, hopefully you build so that it's not just a relationship just to avoid temptation, but it becomes a relationship that is of some substance and of some growth, and you have some direction. But marriage is the only other option as a resolve to temptation. So the marriage is full of temptations at times. How to handle and what do you do, because the home now becomes the place where I believe for both. Now, it's not just that the man satisfies his temptation with his wife or even vice versa, because now, truth be told, you got some women who are just as raw as the men are. Come on, in the day.
Right about that.
And so what their needs are and what their wants are can sometimes be overwhelming to a man. So it can go either way. It can swing either way. Now, for a woman's needs to be met as well, a man has to be able to know those and be able to meet them as well, because then she's tempted too if the satisfaction is not there. So we have to work on knowing what we need, what flavor we like, what flavor we want, and being able to meet those needs. The temptation is when the needs are not met that we get into trouble, because now there's room for those breath of fresh airs, those little, hey man, your bow tie looks nice, things to come in and create a temptation. Because again, to reflect on what you mentioned earlier, we can get into emotional temptations as opposed to just physical ones as well. We can get into the imaginative ones. Just as well as the straight out physical ones, so the temptations are real. They're the same, and they have to be guarded against and protected against. We actually have to talk about them. We have to talk. I think we have to talk about what attracts us. Man, wow, honey, can you believe I just saw blah 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 blah, and a real bond and a real friendship between the two. We can sit and we can laugh about it. I could joke about who your television husband is because you like Siobhan Moore, whatever his name is, and you want to, Denzel, she done married Denzel, and we can laugh and joke about that stuff, but it's not something that we know is going to really happen because we can be real with each other.
Right. Well, okay. We're good. We're good. Bruce, I'm going to ask you this, and I knew probably the wrong person to ask. So I'm going to ask because it's one of the questions that came up. And then we're going to have one last thing. Profanity during married couple. This is a married couple. Profanity during sexual intimacy by a woman. Turn on, turn off. When I say profanity, I mean
you and
I know. Well, listen, y'all.
Are you saying are men turned on by his woman cussing at him while they're having sex?
No, not cussing at him. Just using, instead of saying y'all know I will go there, but instead of saying the clinical words for stuff that she may do that, or she may use other words to describe the act that is not necessarily ladylike, Christian-like.
I'm gonna. What are you saying, doctor? Like, give me an example.
You really want me to do
that? I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Kick me off of Facebook in a heartbeat. I'm also a sex therapist, so I have no problems in just saying the words. But instead of saying, oh baby, this is good. We're having sex. They use the sex word.
Right. I got you.
You sure you don't want to break it down?
Because I'll say for me, because my sexual experience took place when I was out in the world like that.
Right.
That is the template by which I am used to. So if she chooses to drop the F word while we're engaged in that act, it's not going to turn me off.
Yeah. Dr. Cheryl,
that's my answer.
Those
doctor.
I hear the silence in the room. All right, Charles.
Dr. Cheryl, cursing during the act those are accolades of truth. When people get to the point of cursing, it's a strong truth of what they're enjoying, or otherwise they'll won't say much or nothing. You know what I'm saying? But it's a strong truth when they get to that place of doing all of that, or getting kind of quote unquote out of character. It's a strong truth. Otherwise, you know what I'm saying.
So it means like, yeah, we're enjoying it. It's not a turn off for you in marriage.
Now, I think what I can imagine.
I prefer that she curse as opposed to speaking in tongues.
Yeah.
Listen, but listen, sometimes that place is so good that you just want to, she don't go to. I mean, that's just like, yeah, woo.
But Dr. Sher, I can imagine.
You don't want her going, Shama. You don't.
Right.
You don't want that.
Right. Yeah, you don't want that.
Yeah, that's what scared me.
Yeah, Dr. Cheryl, I can imagine a man probably being thrown. Let's just say, if we talk, let's make it Christian. If a man is a Christian, let's just say him and his wife, they're first lady preachers, whatever. They get married, and all along the courtship, obviously there was no action, right? Right in good days terms. All right, there was no action, none of that kind of stuff going on. And when it happens, he's had one image of her. She's speaking in tongues. She's in the choir. She's doing all of these church role things. Where when sex happens in the marriage, and now all of a sudden, boop, boop, all these beeps, and he's sitting here like, who did I marry? Because now he's going to be like, wait a minute, I didn't know all this. And now something like that will probably throw him off. And at that point, other than that, no.
Pastor Julian, any words?
Why do you have to say pastor before that? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Well, listen, I'm gonna say it like this. I'm not in the hot seat, so don't think you're ever gonna get me in the hot seat. I will say this: whether or not we agree to that, if it's what we agree to, there has to be agreement. Because here's the thing: if we are loosely using the language in the bed, do we also loosely use the language when we're arguing?
No, just like you just have said.
Wow.
So here's the thing. Let's put that in perspective.
Mm-hmm.
During and for all of you, either been married or been with, Charles has a child. So I'm guessing that it was not an exception.
No,
I've been married.
He's saying, right?
Oh, Jesus. Go ahead.
In that time of ecstasy, that's not the time that you can literally pause and say, excuse me, I feel the sense of a word coming in my mind and spirit. Can I use this word now? And then you have a full-fledged discussion. If it happens in the moment, would it be a turn off? Would it be something that if she says it, then you know that after this, you're going to have a Sunday school lesson later on about the protocol of.
We're not going to have a Sunday school lesson, but we'll have a discussion. We'll talk, because communication is key. Communication is the key to sex. Communication is the key to finances. So communication has to be the key thing that helps us to balance out what we like, what we don't like, what we desire, what we don't desire, all of those things, to what capacity our experiences have brought us as far as what our past experiences have been. Because some of us still, we don't ever turn in the player card. You got to hold on to the player card, because there are times you got to pull the player card out and use it, even with loving a woman a long time. Being a lover is not so much as how many women you can love, but maybe how long you can love one woman. You don't get there by not being a player, knowing how to buy the flowers, where to go get the deal on the flowers, so I can get 4 dozen for the price of one. I know the spots, okay? Right. And so I'll bring you 4 dozen flowers, but you don't know that I've only played. Well, now I've put it out there. So, those are things. You don't just put the secrets away. You understand? But you refine them. They become refined. They become as fine wine the older that you get. Because where the mind goes.
The season.
Okay.
Where the mind goes. Hear me. Where the mind goes.
We have 4 minutes. Before my birthday. Here's the last question that is here, and this is again, it's for married people, and I said it this late, so all the kids and the sweet people in their bed, and all the real church people, not the safe people. And this is a question from married women and asking two men if during the time of sexual intercourse, how is there any um, what's the word? How valuable or how important is moaning or groaning? Is a woman's silence okay, or does the moaning and groaning indicate that she is enjoying it and therefore giving you a yeah, baby, that's the way to go?
Hmm.
Silence, or
Wow.
this is for the grown married people.
Mm-hmm.
So what does
Communication.
does that do anything to the man?
Communication.
The
It's
the
it's
or
communication.
the moaning and groaning is communication.
It's communication, or even the lack of. It's still communication
Communication. Yeah.
because I don't.
Oh,
I'm not going to have my eyes closed and not be observing
I
the
see.
body language, which is important in what communication.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I
Just
think
don't
if it's
fake it.
understood, I think let's just say if she's a silent lover, as long
Mhm.
as her silence has already been understood by him beforehand, like
Mhm.
he knows that the silence is a lack, it's just silence. There's a difference when there's a lack and there's not pleasure there, and then there's silence. It's a whole difference. And and to to lack of words, the moaning portion to men, it's like Siri. It's the GPS.
Mhm.
It's letting you know when you're close to your destination. That's what it is.
Mhm.
okay, I like
Mhm.
that.
Yeah.
Bruce.
Yeah.
Bruce.
Um,
The Batman signal.
The
Go
Batman is
ahead. He got. It's hard to
Batman.
get him stumped. Look at
I,
him.
I
yeah,
know.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Bruce.
I would agree with my brothers as long as she doesn't fake it.
Yeah, that's it.
Mhm.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, no
Mhm.
faking, no
But
manufacturing of these things. You
okay.
know,
Yeah.
if a woman if she is silent because she is
Yeah.
not pleased, then that's a
Yeah.
challenge that we have
That's a
to
problem.
communicate. We have to talk
Yeah,
about that.
that's
Yeah.
a problem. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, this is it. This is it. And we had a really great time. Kind of giving you an idea of what is coming up for the rest of the month when we're in the man cave. Um, and you're gonna see Bruce and Charles and Julian all come back to talk. The whole idea of man cave conversation is to give man a voice, not that they don't have a voice, but I think we as women, we underestimate the value of the man in the relationship. We misunderstand some of the things that they go through, some of the things that they feel. Men have feelings, and the whole idea now is for the man. As you're listening to this should be an amen in your spirit. Oh my gosh, I'm not crazy. This is how I feel. This is how other men feel. For the women, this should be something that we're taking our notepad. Like me, you may not agree with everything that's being said, but it's coming from the man. And as good as I am, and I think I'm a good therapist and psychologist, I've never been a man. So when men are saying, we can take the posture of negating what they're saying. We can take the posture of defending it, but we would not learn. We would not be better. If they say in the mouth of two or three witnesses, so we had three men tonight, and they have shared their heart with us. We're hoping that you join us tomorrow night for Man Cave Conversation Season 3. If you have questions, comments, or if you would like to be a guest on one of our programs, one of our episodes, please indicate in the comments. My staff is there and they will take that information. Thank you so much. And until tomorrow night, we're signing off. Bye bye.